Okay, so I believe in last session, guys, we have been through the navigating or and seeing the top level configurations, not exactly the configurations, features for now, right? So we'll be diving in a bit more till we reach the structural level. Okay, but for now we have some very top level configurations, like first the org settings we have seen, not the whole settings part, but yes, what configuration does your org is having as loaded, right? So you have seen that in company information, right? Then we have to see the user configuration. So I don't believe that we discussed in very deep how basically user is set up and how the configuration of user permissions are done, right? So as you see, we are in front end for now. We'll be repeating a bit, and we'll be moving forward a bit, right? So still, I think we are not ready for you can say structural level discussion, but yes, we are reaching there. Okay, maybe in 1 or 2 sessions we'll be reaching there. Okay, so let's dive in into setup. So that's your backend gateway. So from here you will be moving to backend as admin, right? And the privilege will be given to admins only to go here. Okay, we'll be having a bit idea about some permissions also here. Okay, then company information we already have seen. Now we will move towards user. Okay, so by default, if you go here in user, you will be having some users created. If you some of you might have created org, right? So as we discussed in last session, that you can create org of your own if you want, and you want whatever you want to play around, you can play around. You cannot break the org. Okay, that's not possible. So you can play around. Some of the features are kind of, you can say, uh, not like, they, if they are once enabled, or the feature is acquired in the org, you cannot go back and disable it. So some of the features are like that, but they are not going to harm you anyway. Just the handling will be uh, changed a bit. That's what I would say, right? And anything, if you want to try with the org, you can try with the org. Okay, and it's free. If you think that you have broken the org, that is not possible, but yes, anyway, then you can create a new org. Okay, so not issue. Now, so here you see, if you see in the users list, so first thing is that from here you can change the list view, right? So some of the default list view you get here, and as admin you can create some new list view also. That's you can say later part you will be learning how to create list views and everything. Means in each view you will be having some filter applied automatically, right? So like that. So if I select admin user, so whichever user is having admin profiles, okay, they will be filtered out, and you'll be seeing only those users. And if you'll be putting active users, then active users, and all users. Okay, so by default, you will be having your user created, whoever is created the org, that will be the owner of the org by default. Okay, and an admin user. Okay, so that's the user there, means owner of the org and primary admin. Okay, so it will be always admin. Okay, then you will be having chatter expert, integration user, and security user with you, right? So those are default user provided by Salesforce automatically for the purpose of basically using these features inside the Salesforce. Okay, why? Because here in Salesforce, everything is done by a user only. Okay, so it's not like something has been done automatically, but you cannot track who did this, right? So in the R, someone is done. Okay, sorry, something is done, so it must be done by someone. Even if automation is triggering, and uh, that is changing some data, some you can say metadata data. So what we'll be learning what metadata is and what data is. Okay, then also it will be done by a user or on behalf of the user. So we have a functionality here called chatter. Okay, So for that you have user here. Okay, integration you already know, at least the term integration you might have heard of, right? Like integrating Salesforce with other systems. Okay, connecting your Salesforce system with other systems, so you can see or you can do changes in other system. Okay, see the data of other system, or you can uh, manipulate data of other systems also from your system. Okay, that's called integration. Basically, you can say that that's also involved in the course. Okay, now you have security users. So for security concerns and everything, so these default users you get. Okay, and uh, one user of your own. Okay, so that's how these default users are there. Okay, and later you can create more users, whatever user you want based on licenses. Okay, and licenses are entities that you need to purchase from Salesforce. So that's where Salesforce charges you. Okay, so consider if I want to create a new user. Okay, and so here in the licenses, available licenses only will be shown here. Okay, so if you see, I cannot see the Salesforce license because I have two and I already have used two, right? That's why I don't get Salesforce option here. Okay, so here you select license. Based on a license, you select profile that we already have discussed once, right? So based on your profile, okay, the user will be having initial access over the org. Okay, what they can see, what they can change, what they can delete, what they can configure. Okay, all the permissions, initial permissions, the user will be having based on the profile provided. Okay, and profiles can be created by admins and configuration user, whoever is having the access to change, to create the profiles and everything. They can create the profiles based on. Okay, so you, if you want to create a profile with some you can say collective permissions, that only these permissions should be there with this user, you can create profiles, and then those profiles you can assign to dedicated user. So you might have figured out earlier that okay, these users will be having this permissions, right? And then later you create a profile based on that analysis, and then assign that profile to a particular user. Someone is raising hand. uh, no worries. So that's about, like, controlling users permissions here once you create those, right? And then login and everything. So just like you get your login, same way once you create a user will also be getting a login link. They will be setting their password and everything, so that you can do. Okay, and for any existing user, you have these controls you can do to them. Okay, only thing is that once user is created in Salesforce, okay, you cannot delete those users. That's the restriction Salesforce is having. Okay, and there are several reasons for that we'll be discussing once you'll be learning about more, you can say, data structure, what is owner and everything. So at that time you will know that yes, why we cannot delete users. Okay, rest you can do, you can reset password of user from here as admin. Okay, and then you can log in as another user and see how the org is looking. That feature is also available. Means if I want to see, okay, how the org is looking to this staff member user. Okay, then again I can log in as him. Okay, and I can see the org just like that user is saying. Okay, so right now it is having basically what you say, like admin profile also. That's why you are seeing same, but let's change it and see how it is going to see the org. So that's how admins verify that okay, this permission is not with this user. So how the org is looking, is it okay that according to the permission that I provided or something else. Okay, so if I go there in the members staff change the profile, staff member profile. Okay, that was initially there, later we changed it. Now if we log in as this user and want to see the org, then here you see I don't have that setup icon here. Okay, and I don't have all those tabs here also, and many more applications also will not be available for me right now. Some of those are there which I have provided the permissions, and all others will not be available. Only which are included in the permissions profile that I have selected, those only will be available here, and the setup is not there. So this user is basically has been given access for the front end only. Okay, so this is not configuration user. Okay, so that's how we control, like, it's already available, what you say, profile. That's why we are seeing like that. Okay, later we'll be configuring on our own to see how this basically um, these permissions are done and assigned to the user. Okay, so now you log out as other user and log in as admin again to view your org as admin. Okay, so these are the some features available with the, you can say, user setup. User setup will be discussing more once we'll be configuring profile, permissions and permission sets, right? So at that time, we'll be spending some more time over the user, but at the top level, I think people might be having some idea. Okay, so that's how you have users there. Okay, now users will be having their personal settings here also, so they can do some level of setting changes in their uh, you can say persona. Okay, so that setting will be applied to particular user only. Okay, not for the or, so they will be having control on their settings. Okay, okay, and here you get these many settings for users to do by yourself. Okay, so here you have change my password. Okay, connections, personal information, whatever you are having. Okay, and if you want to change their personal information, login history and everything, so that you are, some of the settings are there, you guys can explore. Okay, so that's basically on you. Once you are changing those, so you'll be having that or personalized according to you, but very little you can say control you get here. Okay, and mostly all of the control lies with the admins. Okay, so that's how you have the personal settings. Okay, you have applications you already have seen. Now let's move a bit towards, you can say, data and metadata. How basically this org is divided into structure and data. Okay, so how basically data lies here, data and metadata. We have two things you will be hearing a lot. You can say these words, data and metadata. Data, I think you guys are already aware of. Okay, so if you go in any of the front end, okay, and you see those records. Okay, records means if in any of the tab you go and you see records, these records are basically data. Okay, that's called pure data. That's how you will be having data here in Salesforce, only in the form of records. Okay, a lot of things are there in backend. Okay, like, the relationship of the record, the automation behind the record. Okay, the calculations behind the record, and which record or records this record is related to and everything. Okay, so what will happen to other data once something is happening with this data. So a lot of configurations has been done here. Okay, this is matured, you can say, applications. We have been through an admin session. Okay, so there we developed this application. Okay, that's why basically this is working fully, you can say, end to end. But right now, just this, you can say, scenario, if we take, like, this guest should be related with booking, because yes, once considering any hotel, you will be having booking only once you have a guest. Okay, so once people will be coming in into hotel, then only they will be having a booking. Okay, so that kind of relationship you will be having. So it is just a very top view I'm giving to you, that yes, guest is related to bookings. And if you go there and you see here that yes, you have bookings here also, right? And in the guest page, this is page. So okay, I have not told you what was there. Okay, so this is called, once you move into any tab, okay, you go into any tab, this is called list view page. Okay, obviously, because here you see the list list here, okay, of the records. So recently viewed, this is your list view control, okay. So here you get recently viewed, means currently I'm seeing those records, those I have accessed, you can say in past, maybe some days ago or somewhat, okay. And if you click here in this drop down, you'll be getting all also, right? And like this, you'll be selecting all and you'll be getting all the records, okay. And this is pin, okay. If you pin it, so that means every time if you move back, you will be having that particular list pin, means that you will be landing by default on that list. If I go here and you see this one is pinned, so I default, but even if I select all here, okay, and I go there in guest and again land it here, so this interview will be selected. So that's what the pin means, okay. So you can pin that. And then here you get right side some controls also in the list view. So in the list view pane, you have been through this list view control, and at the right side you have some controls here, okay. So this is list view control, means you can change the view of the list, right? And let me tell you again, this option will not be available for all the users, only to those you are giving access to, okay. Now here you see select fields to display. So in this particular list view, what you are seeing right now, if you want to include more fields, you can select on here, and here let's left side, you will be having some fields, means some more information. And if you want to put it there, like I want phone number there also, so you put it there and you get here phone number. So select it and move it to right, and then here at whatever level you want, you can put it and save it. Then you will be having guest phone number here also, right? You see guest phone number also, although we don't have values, but you are getting column also. So somewhat it is looking like an Excel, right? So you have headers, you have columns, okay, and then you have rows here also, right? So that's how basically the Salesforce will also be working. So data you see here is stored in form of tables, okay, but these are very advanced tables, okay. You can have multi-level relationships between tables, okay. And a lot of things you can do with tables, like if I want this data extracted, right, so I will be having it extracted very easily, right. So this list view or the records here in Salesforce will be in form of Excel, right? So let me show you. This is one of the tools that you will be learning later. Okay. So if I select some of the columns, okay. Okay, so three fields right now we are trying to get, and you see that's how we are getting data. And if I copy it and go it here, and you see now you are seeing data somewhat in Excel, and basically it is Excel, okay. Now we don't need this also is not required, okay. Now you see we have three information. This ID is basically identifier in Salesforce, that particular record will be having a unique 18-digit code, okay, that's called ID, okay. So here also you can see, okay. So this is down, let's go back. Okay, so any record will be having this 18-digit ID. Okay, you see, so that's identifier of the record. Okay, this will never be changing. This will never be repeated. Okay, and this will not be duplicated in the R. In the R, not in the R. Basically, in that whole Salesforce ecosystem, this ID will be unique, whichever is assigned to the record. Okay, so this is called record ID here in Salesforce. Okay, or you can say full name Salesforce record ID. Okay, so that's the ID. So that's what you are seeing here. Okay, and then you have name. So here you see what we have. This field is called name because this is API name. We have two names for each field. One is front end name, okay, and another is backend name. And where you can see it, we'll be discussing later. Once we'll be discussing the structure of this particular table, what you are seeing here, we'll be discussing the structure also. Okay, so once we'll be discussing the structure, you'll be seeing why these differences are there. But yes, you see, we are having owner and name here, so this kind of link showing to you. And why is that? That I'll tell you right now. Okay, so you see, at least we agree that we are basically imitating the table here. Okay, but yes, obviously the Salesforce is costly, and it's not like Excel. You can compare it with Excel, yes, but data here is stored in form of Excel. Okay, and very advanced Excel, those things Excel cannot do, those things are done here in the Salesforce. Okay, so but yes, the data is in the form of table only, and that's what you can see here also, right? So that's it about data for now, right? And later we'll be digging in more into data, how you can work with data, how you can manipulate the mass data. Okay, that session also we are having into our data model. Okay, mean the backend setup. Okay, and then we'll be having you can say managing data in Salesforce. So on data. mm Migration, data management, okay, data security. We have a lot of rules here in Salesforce, okay, that an admin is must to know, okay, because most of the times, or the whole purpose of any Salesforce org is to manage the data. It does not matter what kind of data it is holding, but it matters whatever data is there in Salesforce, that's important data, and it should be having security and total management over it. Okay, so everything will be about data there, Salesforce, how you manage it. Okay, and for that only you will be configuring the whole backend and how your client want to see it. Okay, for that you will be configuring the UI. Okay, and what will be the security means, like how secure data is means, is it accessible to everyone, or is it having multi-layer security, so that the visibility, the editability, the deletability is controlled by you. Okay, so that configuration any admin will be learning. Okay, and that's also based on the permissions. So this is very big topic, how you handle data here, and most you can say important also. I mean, you can say important, everything is important. If you say for admins, just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, now, so it's about data, right? So you will be handling a lot of you can say data related settings, data related configurations in your org. So that's a big topic. But yes, at least you see for now the data visibility, how it is like that. Maybe as admin you can see all the data here, means every data you are seeing here. But yes, for all users it's not like that. They will not be seeing the total data, only the data that you will be allowing to them, they will be able to see. And if you can go there and you see this pencil icon, okay, here to edit it, basically once I click on any of the record, if you see any blue, you can say text, and if you hover over it, the pointer is converting, right? Just like this, you see my mouse cursor is converting the pointer. Okay, that means in Salesforce it is a link. Okay, sorry. So in Salesforce, it is a link to another page or link to some other another entity. Okay. So if you see, I click on here, email. So it is going to do something. So it is going to send this email. Okay. So this feature we have to send email. So right now it is having that. Okay. But yes, no, that's not what I want. And if I click here, I will be redirected to the user details here. Okay. And from here we can go to user details. Okay, so that is also a link. Right now if you go back, and okay, and if I click on any other link, so obviously that That's where it will be taking to us. Okay. Same way, any name field of that particular record will be taking you to the record detail page. Now, this is record list view page, record list view page, anything you can say. Okay. But once you'll be clicking on any of the link here, this will be moving to you the to the record detail page. Here you will be seeing the whole detail of the particular record. There you were seeing the summary of the records, means collective records with some information. Okay, so some of the fields you are seeing, whatever fields you are choosing here, later all the fields you are seeing here in the record detail page, means here you'll be seeing all the details, means the relationship, the working, any footnotes, everything related to the record you will be seeing here. And you can change this to the whole level, means whatever way you want to see it, you can see it here. But yes, the detail, this is the detail page. Okay, let's uh, jump back to the list view page. Here we have some more controls also, right? So from here you see some buttons, right? These are called action buttons. Okay, means if you want to perform some action, okay, then you can perform some action here. Basically here whatever you see, those are mostly you can say object level access. Object means once I say object, now it's time to get a little bit familiarity with, you can say, Salesforce terms of metadata, right? So once I say object, so we are referring to table here. Okay, so you have table here in Salesforce, and you see a table in Excel would be containing columns, or you can say header, column, and rows. I don't think we have much more on that. Okay, so here you see, if I have this table, okay, so I have particular table, right? So first thing is table, whatever this table is. Okay, then you are having headers. Okay, and then after that you are having columns here. Okay, columns, right? And then after that rows. Correct, that's it. That's what you have in any table. Okay, so basically headers, we call it headers. Okay, but it's up to you if you call it like first row or something like that. So basically you have column and rows, simple as that. Okay, so columns and rows. Okay, and in columns you have these headers. That's what we have, right? As a table. Same thing, now we need to talk the structure also in the Salesforce. So how it is in Salesforce, you call table objects. Okay, objects, or let's singular object. Okay, table object. Now after that, header or column, whatever you want to say, means those placeholders, like all the IDs I will be putting in this column, all the name will be putting in this column. Okay, and all the owner name will be putting in this column. Correct. So these are called fields in Salesforce. Fields in Salesforce. Okay, and then if you have rows, those are records. Okay, in Salesforce. So rows means, if you say first row will be having collection of three values of column. Correct. It's very simple. Means if I talk about, let's make it simple. I have another table here. Okay, let's have another table. Name, age, maybe address. Okay, now if you say this is the header we are creating, so that we identify the columns. Okay, so that's how our first row is occupied. Now if you go there and see, here our row is occupied, but we are not naming it, we are not sequencing it as first. So only difference is that it is starting first as record. Okay, so this we are doing as, you can say, header we are creating. Now if we talk about uh, that person one, okay, and then it is having and some address. Okay, same way, so this person will be having age, you can say 25, and some address. Okay, like this. Okay. Now, if I say this is the first row, so first row, what it contains? It contains three field values or three column values, so that I can recognize, okay, this particular, the second number record, second row record, or the first record or second row record, anything you can say. Okay, it's basically by serial number you are recognizing. Okay, so this record is having three values, so that I can identify, okay, person one is having 25 age and it is the address of that person. Same way we are having for person two also. So same way we'll be having for person two also, right? Person two, anything like 35, okay, anything. So now both the records are representing a collection of information, right? So once you have collection of information, just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry, I got a call. Okay, okay. So here you have this table and these are rows. Same way we have records there. Now we have not much difference. So once you understand the data structure, okay, then only you'll be able to understand the backend, you can say, structure and metadata level configurations also, right? That's why it is important. Now here also we have rows, okay, and rows are called records. So basically, yes, I'm calling it this record 0037, and then this record, this record, this record. We have a lot of identifiers of the record here, but here in Excel you have only row number. Okay, that third record, fourth record, fifth record, just like this. Okay, but here in Salesforce you have a lot of identifiers. Okay, because for automation purpose, for identifying the records at different places, you will be having a lot of identifiers. You can create your own identifiers also and all. So that will be learning later. But yes, that's how Salesforce data is represented in Excel format. Okay. So once I will be saying object, that means I am referring to a table. Okay. And table visibility is done by tabs. Okay. So in backend there is a table and that is associated with this tab. Okay, creating tab and everything, that also you can do, and we'll be learning that also. Okay, then only you are seeing the table here, and obviously you can manipulate whichever way you want it. Okay, now columns, fields. Okay, so here you can see fields. Okay, I can see, okay, these are the fields here, but if I open it and I see all these fields here, okay, means this is the information we have, right? And we need to basically what is it, like read this particular record by these fields, means all these fields are there. Those are collecting information regarding this particular record. Okay, and you can configure whatever basically fields you want to create here. Consider here in your Excel, okay, you want to create an extra column, right? So you will be coming here and you we like column, okay, one. Here you are putting and creating a new column just like this. Okay, and then next people will be having here other records. They will be filling this column also, right, to populate this table. Same way you can do that here also. These fields will be having you can say configurability and basically what you say, like remove, you can remove fields also, you can add fields also. A lot of operations you can do to this table, but that's table control or object level control. Okay, that's data level control. So how it happens in Salesforce, you have a structure in form of metadata. Okay, so metadata defines the configuration of this whole OR. Okay, configuration code and everything that is in the OR. Okay, that is metadata. And on top of metadata, you are having your data stored there. Okay, so where you can visualize the metadata, right? So if you see here, you go to this edit object directly from here also, or you can go to setup. Okay, let it open. This org is slow, guys, because this is very much loaded. Okay, so and also might be my connections. Okay, so here also this detail, whatever you are seeing here, don't worry about it. Okay, so that we'll be discussing everything. Okay, whatever you see here, that you'll be able to recognize it. Okay, so those actions you see there, here these are actions for the list view page. Okay, and here if you go there, these are the record level actions or record actions you can see. Okay, so a lot of actions are there. You will be creating these actions also. Okay, as you can say admins, those will be performing you can say particular operation over the record or something else also you can have here. If you go customization, you can do anything from here. Okay, that you can put as a button here, that you'll be doing as admins also, and then later as developers also you will be doing that. Okay, is it not opening? Sometimes that is the problem. Okay, now it is open. So let's discuss a bit about more you can say actions. So you'll be having actions here. You can say you want to delete it, you want to edit it again. Okay, so that's how you'll be editing it. And then if you want to delete it, you can delete it. Okay, then you want to create new you can say record of any other object from here. Now we'll be mostly saying object and record, guys. So just connect initially with table and rows. Okay, later you will be having this you can say habitual. Okay, so to call it object and records. Okay, now at this level also, if you want to create a new record, you can just click here, and here you will be getting a selection to make what type of record you are going to create here, either domestic guest or international guest. How to bring this screen and what are these, that we'll be discussing later. Okay, once you'll be having some idea about what is record type. Okay, consider we are having domestic guest and we go next. We are creating a new record for now. Okay, now if I try to put basically some information like okay new guest, okay, one, so we'll be putting mostly test data here, guys. And once we try to save it, so now you are getting some error like okay it's not appropriate. Okay, first thing is that you need to fill up this field because this is mandatory field. You see red star here, so whatever red star is there, wherever the red star is there, okay, you need to fill your field also. Okay, at least that field should be there. Later you should be filling additional fields also if your admin has made some configuration behind that. Okay, like even if I fill email here like test at the test, the sample that I'm putting, guys. Okay, and if I try to save it, right now I don't have any other red star you can see fields, but even if I save it, you see we're getting some error. So that's how Salesforce validates that you are not entering the wrong data, and all this control that what type of data you want to be stored you have with you, right? Like okay, if someone is creating a record, a row in the table, then the data should be clean, right? It's not like that in Excel you go there and anything at the address you can put 123, right? But yes, some what they will know, and here you put okay like here you can put at the street 124, so no one knows like now what does that mean. Okay, what does that mean? So this is corrupt data. Okay, Salesforce has a lot of rules for that. Okay, so even if I don't want to put here email, right, and I change it to something, okay, and then if I try to save it, enter a valid email address such as name@email.com, means here you are, it knows that you are not entering email. That's called data type. Okay, So it already is aware of that here you need to put email, but you are not putting email, right? So that's data type. Here it is a string, so you are putting a string. And here you have number, okay? And here you have passport number, here you have guest phone number. So every field is having configuration behind it, okay? So you need to follow those rules. That's why Salesforce is having cleaned and cleansed data stored in the R, okay? Not like Excel, okay? Here now you'll be seeing a little bit difference. What advanced things are there, okay? So here data validation happens once you are storing the data. Without validation, data cannot be stored here. So whatever R will be configured for, only that data you can enter. Okay. Now what it is saying, either of Aadhaar and PAN is required. Means you are domestic guest. Okay. So this message can be improved. Whatever you want to put here, you can put here. Okay. So maybe you can tell her, okay. So since you are a domestic guest, as identification, either of Aadhaar or PAN is required to save the record. The whole thing you can put here. Okay, so we were just putting the test sentence. That's why we are putting short syntax here. Okay, so that you can control also in the backend. I'll show you where you can do that. But here, let me put some either PAN or Aadhaar. Then it will let me save the record. Unless that, we cannot save the record. Okay. So Aadhaar or PAN, okay, and passport number is optional, okay, and phone number is optional. I think so. Okay, let's see Aadhaar number. If I put something here, yes, okay. Now, if I save it, now the record is saved, and you are redirected to the record detail page. Whatever you have put there, and you see, you are seeing here. Okay, so that's how you get the record validated for the initial information. At least to create the record, this information you should be having. Okay, later. You can have some more rules once you edit it, okay, and everything you can have more rules here. Okay, now do you see these pencil icons? These are for editors, obviously. Okay, whatever field you can edit, uh, uh, on that you'll be getting these pencil icons for edit. Okay, or you can directly edit from here also. It's up to you. Okay, that's how it will be edited, and if you do that, that's how you get it also. So it's up to you. So this is called, you can say, edit options, and you can control how many fields someone can edit. Okay, so if I as admin can see all of the fields, mostly and those can be edited. Okay, this field is not edited, this field is generated. Means this is kind of serial number you are having. You can have multiple fields for the serial numbers. Okay, so automatically once a record is created, it will be taking up the latest serial number. Just like if I create a new record, it will be taking 39. Okay, and then 40, 41 kind of. Okay, so that also you can configure how you want to see it here. But this you cannot edit. Once it is created, you cannot edit. Okay, that's why it is here. Now you can control how many fields should be edited later once the record is created. Okay, so that control you have with you as admin, and same control you can apply over different set of users in your org. That's what the you can say part of admin's job. Okay, so they handle data security also, and it's part of data security. Okay, now these are record actions. Whatever you want to do or records, we already have discussed. Okay, so this is, you can try some of those. Okay, and you can remove those also, whichever you want to see. You see, you if whichever you don't want to see, you don't see. Okay, so that's all control you have here. Okay, now let's see about the backend also a bit. How does it look like, from where it came up, like, standardly once you create a org, you will not be getting either this hotel management system or guest or anything, this whatever you are seeing here. Okay, you'll be getting sales application. There will be seeing some of you can say tabs. Okay, those are standard, right? But this you will not be doing that. So somewhere I might have created it. Yes, in the backend I have created this metadata structure. Okay, that's called object, then field over it, then rules. Okay, rules are also metadata. Everything I have created, and then I exposed the whole metadata to the UI. Okay, by creating a tab, and now I have included that tab in one of the application. So how the flow is, I have created the metadata. Okay, and no, in metadata a lot of things are there, like object, your table. Okay, then fields. So my table is complete now. Users can fill uh, basically records, because I have table and I have columns. Once both things we are having, we can enter the records, okay, in the table. These are the initial things that we need. Okay, now you have these two things I have created. Now we have rules. A lot of rules are there. Okay, some of rules are already created once you create the fields. Okay, I'll show you. Means what type of field, means what type of data you can enter on particular field, and all that, right? Then some rules, additional rules that we can apply. Okay, and maybe some automations also. Okay, automations are also metadata layer. Okay, these all are metadata layer. Okay, and I have prepared all this metadata and I have created a tab out of it. Okay, to expose backend metadata, not basically metadata but structure, backend structure. Okay, metadata cannot be seen here, but yes, you can identify, okay, somewhere this metadata is lying. That's how I am seeing the UI here. Okay, to expose backend structure in UI means user interface. Okay, or you can say front end, anything you can say. Okay, now
Abhishek, rules in the sense restriction rules or validation rules?
a lot of rules are there. Okay, validation rules are there, then you have automation rules, so that's why I have put common as rules. Okay,
Okay,
so
yeah, sure.
you have a lot of rules, means validation rules you can say, and then you can say formulas also kind of rules, right?
Yeah,
So means for now take it as a common rules.
common thing.
Later on particular rules setup we will be going in each one of those. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay,
Okay.
same way I have put automations. We don't have a single automation, right? We have multiple automation tools. So that's why I'm putting a common, you can say, syntax here, right? Now, so here we are exposing that backend metadata to front end so that user can utilize and basically work with the records. So users mostly will be working with the records, all that hiccup and everything that you are doing for this purpose, working with the records. Okay, and yes, you should be reducing their work also. Like, if they are doing some calculations, they should not be doing. You should be doing calculation based on that, right? Uh, you should be having some automations. Okay, if user is prompt to fill some wrong data, right, or corrupt data, you should be prompting them. You should be restricting them to enter the data so that mistakenly they are not entering incorrect data in the or. Those comes in the rules. Okay, and then based on the data user is providing, if you want to uh, run some automations and calculate something, populate something, do something. Okay, those are called automations. So means if user is doing something with the data, not only creating, they are editing also, deleting also, something they are doing with data, and each and every conditions you can have all the permutation and combination. Like, if I go there in data and say, okay, only when this nationality is changed. Okay, right now I have only one option. This is called pig list. Okay, so that will be having it later discussed. Because if the name is changed, I want an email notified to the hotel owner. Okay, that name of particular guest has been changed due to this reason. Okay, and then you just, as soon as you will be changing it and saving it, okay, an automation will be triggering in backend, and it will be pushing one email ID that obviously we can perform right now. Okay, so this all will be able to do all that stuff. Okay, an email will be pushed to maybe owner of the hotel, or maybe owners of the hotel, maybe someone staff, head of the department, anyone you want, right? But they should be having that email ID, right? That is the precondition. Obviously, once you will be having email ID, then only you'll be receiving it. Okay, then you can push emails. That is very easily doable. Okay, so that's called automation. So based on that data, you will be able to do all of it based on that data, particularly, like, obviously based on data, once we saw that yes, it is a domestic guest, then only we are basically recognizing that okay, Aadhaar number is or PAN number is mandatory. If you go here and you see, you create a international user, right? At that time, international user, okay. Email should be also there. If I try to save it, you see it should be basically telling me in case of international guest, passport number or visa details are required. Obviously, because if it is an international, he or she is international user, okay, they will not be having PAN and Aadhaar, right? That's why you see this time if I create international user, I don't have PAN and Aadhaar here also, right? I can see phone number that they will be having obviously, okay, and passport number also or visa details. Visa details should be uploaded, so that's why we have checkbox. Okay, I received the visa details, kind of you can say marker, right? So passport number. So this time we are not bothered about PAN and other because we know that international users will not be having PAN and other. Those are Indian, you can say, documents. Okay, documents for Indian nationality. Okay, people. And if I provide that also, I should be hitting one more error, I guess. But yes, if I provide password here also means like anything, passport number here. Okay, then save it. Now you see duplicate value found. Duplicates value on record ID with this one. This is the record ID, and this is telling that here also you are having a duplicate ID. So where I am having the duplicate ID? Oh, sorry, duplicate value. Let's open that. That's how you open the record. You'll be learning later, guys. Don't worry. Okay. And here, see what exactly duplicate I'm having. This means email I'm having. So email I have selected is this, and if I go there, you see in this record I have email like this. Okay, so that it is telling you this email should be unique. Means you already have a guest with this email ID in your record. That is also validation. That is field level validation. Okay, rule that is there that this field will be unique throughout the records. That means if you have older guest, you basically edit that guest details, not create a new guest with the same details. Okay, that is prevention of you can say duplication, right? That control also you have. Now you put here like 45 and it should be saved. Now you see there is difference. Okay, this is domestic user. Now it is having Aadhaar number and everything. Now you come here and you see this is international guest, and this is having nationality automatically selected as none. And here I have not selected nationality, but automatically the nationality is selected as India. Correct? You might have seen I have not selected nationality as India, right? Only I did put a name, email, and Aadhaar number, right? Same way here you see I India, why it is not taking, because we are having this application in India, and since it is international user, it cannot be Indian, right?
So based on the record type, it is showing the nationality.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a little automation. Okay. So this is how you make you can say things easy for any of the user. Now here you see you don't get option of India, right? So this is the control you get basically based on this record type that you are having. Okay. Now there can be other countries, but not India, because the application you are using is India. Okay, and that's why if that is India, you are going to select India, then it should be domestic user. Okay, and since it is not domestic user, then it should be having nationality of any other country, right? That you can choose. These kind of small validations you are having, but all these you are configuring somewhere, and that's called backend, and that's where your day will be going most of the time. Okay, so users will be working with records. You need to help them out. All the automations, all the validations, all the configurations you'll be doing, that will be ultimately for the records to be handled by the users. Okay, so this all we will be jumping in now slowly. Okay, now we are having a bit idea like yes, okay, this is front end, how that's how we enter the record. Okay, and that's how we see the table, that's how we see the detail of the record. Okay, this is the control you get basically as you can say admins and that much information is available for the users. Okay, let's discuss a bit more on this front end visibility, and then later we'll be moving to a bit discussion about back end. We'll be moving slowly because a lot of people are joining it still, right? So then also we'll be starting full-fledged classes once we are basically a bit, you can say, into metadata level. Okay, now here you get list view controls. I told you this is not available for everyone. Either admins can allow someone to create list views, or basically they can create list views and share with them later. This option they will not be seeing. So what does it mean? Like, mine, if you create a new here, so you get some options. New clone means it is about this list view. Right now you see all, and this those are standard, means those two will be available for every, you can say, uh, tab. Okay, but if you want to create a new one, you can have a new one or clone it basically. Okay, and have a new one, rename it, share it to whom you want to share with. Okay, delete, reset columns, everything you can do. Okay, so consider we are going to create a new, like, my new list view. Okay, and here you get the visibility, means either I am creating this list view only for me. So like, I just want to have my list view, because here in list view page, I want some information that, that is for me, like, in this way I want to see the table. You can say that. Okay, I want to see the table or top information in this way, so that should be only for me. Or you can put it for all users. All users will be seeing that option there. Okay, if they want to select that particular list, they can select it, or you can share it with some of the particular users. Like if you put here, and you'll be able to share with some of the users here. We are in groups, roles, and everything. So that's different. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay, that will be discussed. Okay, so consider I am selecting only the for me. Okay, so it will be having at least one column for now. Okay, and then you see you are having filters also. We're discussing it, but let's see. Then you'll be having select fields to display. Right now you have only one. Okay, now you will be adding fields from it, and consider, okay, I want name, and I want basically the record type also, which type of user is, or nationality, and guest record type, guest record type. Okay, that's how you move it. It's just navigation. Okay, now I want this three information, and then that's it. I don't want all the information. Now you see you are having all these three information. Okay, and if you want to add more, remove more, you can do it. And other options are pretty much clear. Okay, and then later if you want to delete it, you can delete this list view, and it will be gone from here. Okay, so that's the control you get here for the list views. Now you have here display type. Okay, so this is table display, correct? Classical table display, you can say. And this is Kanban view. So you get Kanban view like this. Group by nationality, that's fine. Yes, okay, fine. So here you see, this is Kanban view, means international guest, domestic guest, and just visibility. It is grouping, like, for India you have these many records. Okay, for international guest you have US, for USA 2, none for 3, and China for 1. Okay, that's how you have. And later you, if you want to perform some operations, you can perform here. It's just basically, you can say, different view, Kanban view. Many users prefer that also. Okay, this is modern view, Kanban. If you search over internet, you'll be seeing, like, what is Kanban view. Okay, so this is view. Basically, mostly as admin, you will be choosing, table, because that's pretty much easy, and it gives you a lot of information, because you are not interested working on data. Okay, you are interested on seeing what is wrong with data, right? So you need access to all the data. Once any user will be complaining, okay, this is the issue I am having. Please look on it, right? So you just need quickly to view all the data. You will be mostly jumping into table, but it's on user, like, they can configure, okay, I want all those users here, those are related to USA, and I want to see this kind of view. So they have this control, right? They can do it. Then you have split view also here. Okay, so here you'll be seeing those records, and once you'll be clicking on this, the detail will be showing the right. That I like very much. Okay, personally, and because here I have quick access to all of the records also, right? Like this. So that's just view control you are having. Then later you can switch to table. That's what you are having. Refresh if you do some changes and you see it is not reflected here. Refresh it. Okay. Edit means inline edit. Basically, right now you see it is disabled. I can see it is showing that it is disabled. But yeah, yeah, it is disabled. I guess. Okay. So why it is disabled? I'll tell you. Okay. So this is edit means here also you can edit. I'll show you how you can edit. Okay. Then you have this chart also, right? Little bit chart once you want to, like, see some kind of data analysis here from directly, you can say this page. Okay.
Uh,
So
can you do can we do the inline editing over here? Because
yes, I'll show you. Wait a minute. Okay. So you see a little bit chart here also, but this I don't think is very much popular because we have very big functionality of report and dashboard here. So this is just a chart you get here. Okay. And then later you'll be having detailed analysis of your data in reports, right? So where you fetch what kind of data you are having. Some top level, you can say user is wanting some, seeking for some, you can say analysis over data, that we'll be doing report and dashboard. It's a part of curriculum. Okay, we'll be learning that also. So here little report for your purpose, if you want to create, you can create. It's up to you. Okay, so that's why you get chart here. Okay, and later you can have that chart deleted from also, right? Now here you get the filters also. Like right now you are seeing all the records. You see filter by owner, all guest means all the records will be here. Okay, then if you will be putting a filter like my guest, then only records, and you need to save it, only records owned by you. Okay, owner, if you see owned by you only will be shown here. Okay, so records only owned by you will be shown here. And then other filters also if you want to apply. So if like I change to all guests here. Okay. And then if I want to add another, you can say filter here. Okay, then you get all the fields here. Okay, like what rule you want to apply here for the filter. Like I want to apply like where nationality equal to, you'll be getting option here. Okay, India. Okay, then you done, you save it. Okay, now here you are seeing only nationality India. Okay, that's how you basically filter those records here. Okay, means, you know, obviously you should be doing all this in your personal list view, but you can do that in, you can say here also. Sometimes basically you can restrict users also to manipulate this list. Okay, so they will not be manipulating all and recently viewed means standard list, and then later they can manipulate their own list what they will be having. Okay, now these filters will be giving you control what you can say seeing currently here in this particular table. Okay, and then later you can remove those filters also if you want. Okay, so this is basically control of table view what you are getting here. Okay, later you, this is just visibility control, you are not doing anything with the data for now. Okay, this is visibility control you are having. Now let's try this inline editing, one record type. Okay, so then you need to put here at filter record type. Okay, because say why it is asking to filter by record type, there is a reason for that. Okay, record type is a bit complex thing. Okay, that will be discussing later. I'll show you. Okay, now you see you are getting these pencil icons here also. Even if you click here, you see this is saying put data here. Okay, so you see pencil icons here, means you don't have to jump into the record page, or you don't need to go here. If you want to change something here, okay, you can change here also. Like, you know, if I want to change this field also, I want to change this field for this record also, I will be changing it. So like, I want to put number, and then here. Okay, now I have put both number here. Okay, now you see these are highlighted. So if I save it, these two records will be saved. you can say kind of, you can say multiple records you are saving at same time. Same thing you can do with other fields also. Okay, some of the fields you see this log button that you cannot change means this is not for you. This is, these are system fields. Okay, owner, you can say, and this last modified, created, date created by, and everything. These are system fields means once you create a record, system also stores some information. Okay, like who created the record, when they created the record, when it was modified, by whom it was modified. Okay, who is the owner of the record, that you can change, but you have some limited control over here, right? So these are called system fields. So these are system fields, and one name you have as a system field. Right now I'm converting it to number. Okay, that's automated number, but yes, that's also a system field. Name will always be there. Okay, that's how you will be recognizing the record. Okay, so uh, that's why you get control here as in front end. Okay. Now only thing here is that whatever you do, you are doing in front end. You are working with data. Okay. Now you need to visualize this in back end data. That's what we are going to cover, and then we'll wrap up our session today. Okay. Now you have seen a lot in front end, so now you should be having some idea. Okay, that's what we are doing in Salesforce. We are working with the records. Okay, a lot of ways are there to work with records. Okay, if this guest is there, now guest has entered in the hotel, just imagine that. Okay, imagine that, and then he will be booking a room. Okay, you go there, and you will be booking a room for the that particular guest. Okay, and you will be like, which room you want to book, like, I have any room or not, I'm not sure. Okay, for now, so you should be having some rooms. Let's see if I have some room available. R001 maybe. Okay, and here you are searching uh, dash. Okay, so here this room I want to select, and check-in date. Okay, we are putting like, if I'm going to put any previous date, it will be throwing me error. Okay, that kind of relations we have. Okay, like that day will be checking in. Okay, then hotel statistics for now. Put what was it? H. Yes. This is not necessary. This will be removing in our, you can see. Now you create a, some issue is happening. A previous simulation must be able to book. Room must be available to book. Okay, means room is not available. Okay, so we cannot book here. Okay, so that kind of functionality you can have. Now booking will be created for that particular guest and all. So then you can work on this record later. Okay, and till the checkout, you will be having this record identified here. Okay, what is happening with the record? Okay, so that's the purpose of data here. Okay, same way you can imagine any scenario, any business scenario, from finance to like to travel to hotel hospitality, to anything you can consider that can be implemented. Okay, but this kind of a structure where you create it, that's what we need to see, and then for that we'll be going into backend. Okay, scroll down a bit, and here you will be having, either you go here in object manager, or you can search here also object manager. These keywords you guys need to learn out. Okay, because mostly all admins remember those. Okay, so that's what you need, where you'll be finding what setting. That's the important thing for admins. Okay, users don't have to worry about it, where what they have, they need to search for, right? But as admins, you need to memorize those. Okay, because you cannot go there and searching for each and every option. You should be knowing where I will be getting which functionality, and what, if I have that functionality or not. Okay, because it is not your mobile setup that has limited options. A lot, I mean, it is limited, not unlimited, but a lot of options, thousands of settings, configurations, and everything are there. Okay, so you have limited UI, so you need to memorize those. Okay, and if you don't find it, you have internet with you, and someone is putting a hand.
Yeah, Abhishek, it's me.
Yep.
So can you explain what is the difference between 15-digit ID and 18-digit ID?
We
Recorded.
have all. We will be having all this discussion. This is deep level, you can say, discussion. Okay, we will
Okay.
be
Okay.
having the discussion. 15
Sure.
level IDs were earlier. You can say once Salesforce was in their earlier phase, right? So they were having 15 digit IDs. So if you have 15-digit ID, there are limited permutations and combinations you can create, right? Then Salesforce got popular and everything, and they have to had more records because ID will never be repeated. Either if you delete it, remove it, anything, it will never be repeated in Salesforce. Okay, so that's how they needed three more digits. So once they are adding three more digits, they are having zillions of permutation and combinations of characters and numbers, right? So now they have more bandwidth on this. So we'll be coming to 15 digit and 18 digit also. Okay. Right now we
Sure.
are slowly going there. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Now this is the object manager. Either you can go from here or from here. Both things are same. Okay. However you want it. Okay. Now we are in object manager. That would be your backend. Okay. Now here you can visualize some of the metadata. Okay, so now if you see here, you get into object manager. Okay, and here you see all the objects, means these are the separate tables created. And let me tell you, everything here in Salesforce you see is an object. Okay, everything means even if you see some functionality configuration, that's also an object. Okay, and if you see table data, that's also an object. If you even see any check functionality, anything, you mean anything, that the whole platform is object oriented. Okay, now you might have heard this you can say saying earlier also, like, object oriented. So that's what it is. It is object oriented platform. Means this whole technology that is having it is object oriented. Okay, and we'll be discussing more on object oriented once we'll be jumping into development. But yes, everything here is an object. Okay, so you have two things visually here in front of you: the standard objects, and then you have custom objects, right? And you have a third type also that we call system objects. Okay, so that those system objects you cannot see here. Okay, there's one user. Okay, that is kind of hybrid, but not totally. Okay, this is combination of standard and system, but yes, it is it is standard in Salesforce. Okay, but somewhat it is just, system also. System objects that you cannot see here in your object manager. Basically, for now you have that concept with you. Later we'll be having more you can say discussion on that, what is system objects, what you can do with that or not. So that's kind of development you can say stuff and everything, right? So now these are standard objects which are already available with you can say your or. Okay, by default once you create or, you have all those objects. This is very famous object account that you will be using a lot. Okay, so account is from you can say Salesforce standard objects, and you cannot remove these standard objects, right? You can change internal configuration of these objects. Okay, but you cannot remove these objects, standard objects. Custom objects you can create, delete on your own, but here you cannot remove. Okay, some of the you will be getting some restrictions on standard objects, but you will be having total control over your custom objects. Okay,
Can we customize the name account?
customize the
Name account name.
this one.
Not that.
Yes,
Not
label,
that one.
label we
Uh,
can.
the above one.
This one, no, no,
Yeah.
no. It's label you want to change.
Yes. Yes. Can we
Yes,
change?
yes. We can change label, and we can basically change some of. We'll be discussing on that. That what till what level we can configure a custom object. Okay, but everything
Because
you can change here. Okay.
some environments we can see that it is named as a prospect.
Yes. We can do that. We can do that, but label only. So it's not like you can change the whole what is it, like, backend means API name you cannot change, right? API name will always be account. Okay, but label you can change. We'll be reaching there. Okay, don't worry. Yes, these are the cases. If you want, you can ask in between. We'll be showing you that also. Usually we don't go on this. You can say all things, but yes, if you want, we'll be discussing that also, right? So standard objects and custom objects. What basically you will be getting why you'll be using standard objects and why you'll be using custom objects. So how it happens, like, this object can be included in multiple applications. Okay, you can do that also, include this object means as a standard object in your what you say, like, application also, and you just filter out what functionality you want there, right? But in some way, if you are not getting that, you can say, object to fulfill your requirement, then you go custom. Okay, and you create your own object. It's like you are saying here, you have a lot of custom objects here. Okay, so what application we will be building, we will be mostly creating custom objects, because we will be showing you all the changes those can be done there in the object. Okay, and uh, basically in standard objects some limitations will be there, right? So that's how we'll be mostly using custom application, custom objects. Okay, and then later some of the functionalities we'll be discussing from the standard objects also, right? So once you are here, let's find out our backend for this where we are discussing. Okay, then let's see how it is looking like in their backend. Then we'll be discussing about what is coming from where. Okay, if you see this guest from where it is coming and everything, that will be same. Okay, so if you go here and type guest, okay, now you see this is label. This is also kind of table, right? As I told you, everything is table, but this table is to store data, and here you see it is metadata. But yes, that's what you are seeing is data, that is telling you information about the metadata. Okay, so this is the label that you are seeing in front end. Okay, and this is the API name. Okay, don't get confused by the API names. This is having namespace. Later, once I in the next session, maybe I'll be creating a new org. Okay, so there you will not be having the namespace. Okay, so this is the API name, basically what you are having. In custom objects, you'll be having underscore C. Okay, so that we'll be discussing, will be coming there once we'll be showing you to create the object, and you guys will be creating there also, right? And since it is custom object, let's see that where you get what. So this is a bit information about, you can say, that particular object. Okay, so this is the API name. What's API name? API name is the backend name for the developers. Okay, so that's how you recognize entities here in the backend. In the front end, whatever users want, you will be showing them, but in backend you will be having a different name. Okay, that will be called API name or developer name, anything you can say. Okay, and then you have more information related to the object that will be going in again one more time. Okay, but here you see fields and relationships, you get a lot of information here in this side, and these all are related to you can say object. Okay, means your table control. Okay, so here in each and every options will be going. Okay, and we'll be discussing each and every functionality of every option. Okay, so you see details about the object, fields and relationship. Here you will be getting your columns to configure. Okay, page layout, how you will be exposing those fields. Okay, for particular target. Okay, record pages, button links, compact layout, field set, everything. You have a lot of options. Just go there and see what options you are getting. Okay, if you are comfortable, manipulate those. If don't, just read it out what you see here. Okay, just visit once whatever page we are discussing. Visit once, it's very important. Who are new, those I'm telling guys. Okay, those are already aware of Salesforce. They already know where is what, right? But if you are new, just visit these fields. You have to do nothing. Okay, like, you don't have to memorize or something. Just visit this page again and again. Simple as that. Okay, that will help you very much. It's just a trick I'm telling you. Okay, visit these pages and just click and open these things. Okay, do nothing, just click and open these things and read this thing. Okay, what these are, button links and action. So that if I say like where you get, like where you get page layout settings, so at least you know, okay, yes, I remember that option from there. Set up object manager and then open the object, any of the object, and you get the page layout. Okay, so that's what it will be imprinting your mind, and that's very much important for your speed. Okay, so here we'll be getting all the options. So till the columns we'll be discussing, and then we'll be stopping our session. We'll be moving forward in our next session. Okay. So here you get all the fields. Means If you are creating, you can say Aadhaar number here, then that's why you are seeing Aadhaar number here also. Okay. And once you are creating, these are system fields, you see indexed system field created by, you cannot remove that. This will be there already. So once you are creating a new object, default fields will be created. I'll show you at that time. Okay. Then you have guest number. I have changed the label to guest number. The backend name is name. Okay. These are the backend name. Fields name means backend name of the fields. Okay. Or API names. And these are the labels of the fields. Okay. Then you have nationality, PAN card number. So all the fields you can see here, those I have included in the table. Okay. But view I am controlling with record type. Okay. And page layout. So what field where you get to see and everything, that I am controlling with page layout here. Okay. For now, then we'll move into Lightning record pages also. But for now, you see with the page layout I'm good. So I am creating all the fields here, means all the columns here, and how I want to expose them to the user based on which rule. Okay. I will be having other settings for that also. Okay. So that's how, but basically you create a column here where you need to include in which table and which type of view at what time, that will be up to you. Okay. So at what conditions, everything you can control here. But yes, here you will be creating the columns. So once you create your table from here, okay, create new custom objects. So from here you'll be creating a table. Okay. Then you will be going in, okay, in any of the table, or for now I'm using that nomenclature, and then you'll be going to columns and relationship, and here you'll be creating your columns. Okay, that's how you create it basically table here. And now let's talk in Salesforce terms. You'll be going to object manager, you'll be creating a new custom object. Okay, and then you'll be opening that object, you'll come into creation relationship, and you'll be creating fields here. Okay, that's how users will be able to store records in form of rows there, or in the records there, in form of records there. But still it's in backend. Now even if you create it, it's in backend, we'll be exposing it to the front end also. Now from the next session we'll be creating at least one object, right? And we'll show you, because anyway we are going to do it again. So now we'll be doing it in a proper way, right? Then you need to bring that particular, you can say, backend table to the front end like this. Okay, that is also a journey. Okay, so here we'll be creating our structure, metadata structure. Then we will be having tools like tabs in this case, okay, to expose this to the front end. This is not the only way, guys, to expose it to front end. You have coding way also, you have other tools also, screen related tools also, right, that you can use to expose your backend data into front end in whatever way you want. But this is the quickest and most utilized way, right? And standard click configuration provided by Salesforce to expose your backend, you can say, table to front end, so that user can use it. Okay, and users will be using it once you will be creating application out of it, tab out of it, and everything, right? So that's how from backend to front end we'll be moving our object tomorrow. Okay, so let's wrap up, guys, for today. Slowly we'll be increasing our you can say session time till 2 hours. Okay, and yep, that should be it for today. If there are any questions, you can ask, guys, and then otherwise we'll wrap up. Any questions? Anyone? It can be related to anything, not necessarily for the sessions. With the sessions also, anything, if you have any confusion or anything, you can ask.